Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to this video about HTML. Today we will be talking about what HTML is and how we can create a HTML file. We'll also learn about HTML tags and how to inspect them using the DevTools. And we will go over two real-life examples, two popular websites, and we will analyze their HTML to see whether it was well written or not. So first of all, let's make our first HTML file. So I will go into the directory I made in the previous video, and now here I could say make dir HTML. You can name it however you want, but I will call it HTML. Now we'll change the directory, go into HTML. Now, in order for Visual Studio Code to start as well, to initialize in that folder, we need to do something because now it says no folder opened. But what I can do, I can say when I'm right here, when I'm in the folder, I can say code dot, and that will open a new window. I can close this one. I'll just put it on the right side again. There we go. And now you see we are in that HTML folder. So I will make a new file. I can click right here, new file, and I will call it index.html. And what I would like to note before we start writing the HTML code, I want to emphasize that you do not have to remember all the things we are learning in this video. It's, you know, I recommend you to code along with me and get a little bit of an understanding what I'm doing. But it's definitely not necessary to remember everything because, you know, you'll learn HTML by time. So don't stress it, okay? So to get started, we can use some built-in features of Visual Studio Code. So right here, see HTML5. If I press tab, boom, it gives us some HTML code. Now, if I save this and I make a right click on the file name and I say open with live server. It will open up right here. And now you'll see it says document just like here. So I can call it my first web page. Save it and you see it just changed. Now we can write our HTML body right here between the body tag. So this is when you see these angle brackets, that's a tag. So I can, for example, say, hi, my name is Mitchell. Boom, and there we go. It automatically updates in the browser. So of course we can write a lot of stuff right here, but I think this is a good time to introduce HTML tags. So I would just show you a tag. And it will be the header1 tag. And I will say this is a header. I will save the file. And now you see it already made the font size a little bigger. It made the font a little more heavier, a little bit more thick, bold, you could say. And these tags are awesome because your browser will automatically do great stuff with it. So I also have a H2 tag, which you can say this is a smaller header, and you will see the browser automatically makes it a little bit smaller. And maybe you cannot see it very well, but if I make it H3 and H4, oops, H4, save it, now you see it gets smaller. It goes all the way to H6. So header tags are very nice to use. We can also use for just general text. We can use a p tag, which is just a paragraph tag. So I can say this is just some text. Save it. Boom. Just has default normal styling. Nothing special right there. Now let's do something fun. Now let's insert an image. And now you see it autofills two things. It says source and alt. And if I hover over it, it will tell me exactly what it is. So it says this attribute defines an alternative text description of the image. So if I want to have a cat image right here, I could say cat. And if I want to have a image of a cat, I can go to one of my favorite websites, unsplash.com. I can search for cat. And yes, I like this one. Do a right click, open image in new tab. We can copy and paste it right here in source. It already says the image URL. I paste it, I save it, and now go back to the HTML document, and boom, we got ourselves the cat image, which is great. Another very popular tag is the anchor tag. And that's simply, for example, if I say HTTPS google.com and say go to Google, save it. Now here you see I will just remove the image because it is a little big. If I click here, you already see it will redirect us to Google. So again, that's also a very popular tag. Now we can use the DevTools to inspect our document. So I'll just remove these header tags, and I can go into the document, right click and click on inspect, and now you will see we got our HTML document just like we have it right here. The body tag, when I open it, you can see header 1, paragraph tag, anchor tag. So that's how we can inspect an HTML document, and that's also what we will do with the two websites we're going to analyze in a couple of minutes. So before we get on to that, I would like to show you a couple of more tags. For example, wait a second, I also removed the body tag. I can make a form, and I can remove this for now, and I could say a label, and I could say right here, I would just remove it for demonstration purposes. Label and input, type text, that's fine. Save it, boom. Now you see we have a label and we have an input field, and it's really cool because when I change this to, for example, date, the browser picks it up and says, oh, awesome, let's integrate some calendar picker, so a date picker, I'm sorry. So you can do a lot of awesome stuff with it, and the browser already knows what to do. So HTML, like I said before, is also there to structure your web page. Now I will show you a simplified image of how that could look like in a website. So often you have a header and it has some navigation links in it. So usually you have like all kinds of, some people make a list of anchor tags, and then you can go to home and about us and the contact page and so on. So then you have an aside, which could be like a sidebar. I will show you that in a minute. And your main content will be wrapped in the main tag. And then in a main tag, you can have multiple sections, and in those sections you can have articles. Now this is, and then of course a lot of websites also have footers with like the link to the terms and conditions and privacy policy and so on. Now this is not always necessary, right? It really depends on the website you're going to create. But if I take this example right here, it's not the best looking website, but it does very well for our demonstration purposes. So here you see, okay, here we have the header, and then we've got like an image right here, and maybe this is part of the image, maybe just some text, so a p tag. We've got our navigation, which is a list of anchor tags. Then we got our aside right here, and then we've got our main part of the web page, which is this part. And then you can say that, for example, within that main part, all the posts are a section. So you can say this is a post section which contains articles, sample post 1, sample post 2, and well, that's how HTML can give a little bit of structure to your web page and make it easy for other people when they're reading your code to understand what part of the page they're looking at in their code. Yeah, let's see. So right now I can close this up and we will analyze two popular websites. The first one, which I can already tell you is a good example of good HTML, is the MDN Web Docs. This is a great website with a lot of information about web development, and you will, well, if you're Googling things about web development, you will often come across articles by MDN. So I will right click, inspect, and here you will see the HTML document they provided us. So as you see, we have a header, we've got a main, which seems to be all this part, and then the main down below the main they have a footer. So they used good tags, and it's now really clear for me as a web developer, if I would have this in my code editor, what part of the page I'm looking at. And for example, right here, and you will also see divs, which you might not know about yet. We will get into that later when we get into HTML, which is often used to style certain parts of your page to well, make things, put things in the right position. But now, if I click on this selector icon, I can just hover over all kinds of parts in the page, and it will tell me, there we got a p tag, another p tag. This is a let's see, hex block. That seems to be a header too. But it seems they used a lot of tags, and that's good because it's very clear to me now what their intent was with their code. Now let's go to another popular website, Netflix. And I think this is a good example of a page that is not so well written in terms of HTML, because as you can see, we've got our body, and then we've got div, and we've got even more divs, and you probably already notice that we don't see header tags, we don't see main tags, we don't see footer tags, and that makes it a little bit unclear if I would be looking at the code, because I would look only at divs and I would have no idea what's going on right there. And for example, if I search right here, for example, for header, I can verify this is all styling, but you see they do call it header, but that's for the CSS. We'll get into that later. But the div, or actually the header itself, they wrapped it in a div tag. Footer, same thing, right? They do not have footer tags. I could actually search like this. You see they don't have it. Something else I can show you is, for example, right here, they got an input field, and you see they've got a label, and in that label they've got another label, and I can tell you straight away that's not good practice. Okay, in HTML that is not a good way to do it. And if we look for H1 tags, you will see we have 5 hits. So you see this is H1, this is an H1 tag, and again, usually a page should only contain one header, one tag. However, it seems that the developers at Netflix used the H1 tag to make use of that default styling, right? So to have a little bit of a bigger font size, but semantically, so HTML wise, again, that's not a good practice. So that was it for this video. Don't be afraid to continue the rest of the course if you haven't remembered everything, because It's quite a lot of information, but you will definitely get comfortable with it during the rest of the course. So I see you in the next one.